Today, SVG icons, CSS animations, bam, into beautiful animated hamburger icons for your Divi site. So let's go take a look at how to do that right now. What's happening, guys? Roby here with the Divi Engine team, coming at you with another awesome Divi tutorial. And today we're going to be looking at creating some SVG icons. So maybe you've been browsing the web and you've seen an awesome hamburger menu with an animation. You're like, wow, that would look awesome on my Divi site. We are going to show you how to do that today. Now, last week we showed you the actual construction of an SVG logo in Illustrator, exporting it in two methods, a SVG file, but then also the SVG code. Now, today we're working with code again. So we're going to take a look at how to take that code and implement it on your Divi site in conjunction with our Divi mobile plugin. Now, you can see the logo here that we created previously, but then we've also got our Divi mobile icon, hamburger icon here on the desktop, one of the many features you can do with Divi mobile, of course. And we've got a bunch of presets in there. What if you're browsing a site like this one where there's 51 CSS hamburger menu icons that, you think kind of look cool? Maybe you want to try one of these out on your site. I particularly took a shine to this one right here, and they actually have a whole code pen here with all the code for you. And when you click it, it does this awesome animation, and you would be surprised at how easy that is to add to Divi Mobile. And this is a pretty new feature that we recently added to Divi Mobile. So I'm excited for you guys to learn how to utilize it, and I am excited to enhance your site. So let's go take a look at how to set all of this up by using the code here on the screen to go ahead and enhance those Divi hamburger menus. Let's go. Alrighty, so the way to get this started is I'm here on the front end of my Divi site, and if you're already a Divi mobile user, this should come natural to you. All you have to do is go to Divi Engine and access the theme customizer. Well, it's actually just a drop-down menu there with all the other links in there. And as I mentioned before, this is specific to Divi Mobile, so you don't have it yet. Now's a great time to go get it. We've got a great sale going on. Go check that out in the link in the description. So, where was I? Coming back to this. Okay, I'm here, and you will see that the Divi Mobile menu in the theme customizer is right here. I'll open that up. And I will come here to burger menu. Now here you see this custom SVG icon code option. And this is where we add the SVG code to get a new SVG icon here. And we can then start controlling the behavior and the animation that we've got going on right there. We do have to do one extra step though. I'm going to take a look at that here in a second when we start porting over that SVG code. But here you can just go ahead and select from the burger menu style, custom SVG code, and it's going to do a thing. Of course, there's no code in here, so our SVG icon has now disappeared, but we're going to fix that right now. So let's go. Okay, so here we are back on that SVG icon that I had found online that I think has a really slick animation. And I'll link both this page here with all these different SVG icons that you can kind of play and work around with, and as well as this one, but I'll also include all the code used in the text version of this tutorial. So those will all be linked in the description. What we're going to want to do here is we are going to go here on the HTML portion. Maybe I can drag this down a bit and just select all the SVG code, because, SVG kind of in a way is part HTML and part XML. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and then I'll click back to my Divi site, and I am going to paste that code right in here. And wow, that is not a beautiful icon now, is it? But there's a reason for that. It is because Divi Mobile's got some CSS that we're going to need to override to make this render correctly. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now. But we've got the bases here. Now you can use this width to kind of scale it so it can become bigger and smaller, just so you know. We're not going to mess with that right now. We want to see what it looks like here in a second. And we'll do that as soon as we've got that CSS in there. Okay, so we're back here on our little code pen with our icon that we love. And we're going to take a look here at the CSS code. And you can quickly see that we're not really going to be bothered with the body, because that's just kind of to set all this up. And as well as the menu, we already have everything we need for the menu in Divi and Divi Mobile. What we're interested in here is the line class here and everything below it. So line 1, line 2, line 3, and then we've got the dot opened line 1. So that's of course the open state like this of the actual icon. And this, all of this takes care of the animation and the way that this is going to look and all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and copy everything from dot line down. So copy that. Now, as you know, there's two places you can add CSS in Divi. One is you're in the customizer. If we head back to the main area, we've got this additional CSS section here, and you've got the CSS code from the Ken Burns tutorial that I did previously. So check that one out. I'll link it in the description if you're interested. But that is also a great tutorial on how to do some cool stuff in Divi. But anyway, you add it there. I generally prefer to come here to the Divi dashboard, then theme options, and then scrolling down. And we've got all this code again. And as usual, it's usually a great idea to annotate your code here and just say that this is going to be my SVG Hamburger animation, and that is Hamburger. That is not a thing. Hamburger menu icon, whatever. Cool. And then I'll just paste that code in there, and I'll go ahead and save that. Now, you know, there's obviously one very clear advantage of adding your CSS over here, which is to see the live results. So let's quickly refresh this page. And then let's open this up, and you'll see our CSS code is in here, but it hasn't made a change here. So let's look at how to fix that right now. Okay, now, as I mentioned before, there's some key differences in the way that Divi and Divi Mobile handles Hamburger icons, SVG, and CSS and stuff like that. And what we're going to do right now is point those out and show you how to kind of work with those. And one of the first things that is easier to understand when you kind of inspect the page like I am doing right here is that you can kind of see here that we've got all this fun stuff. But when we're looking at this, we can see that the class for this is divi-mobile-menu, and that kind of wraps around this icon. So what we want to do is we need to utilize that class. So I'll copy that, then close out my dev tools there. And then we'll just precede each line here with dot divi-mobile-menu, because that will increase the specificity. That's hard to say sometimes. And that would just make sure that the CSS is targeting the right elements on the page, because if there are maybe some other classes in your install that uses this these class names, line 1, line 2, line 3, you might run into some issues. So this is just going to prevent that for you. There we go. So there's one more thing I need to show to you, but let me just finish adding these. I'm adding these in between right now, and I'll explain this in a moment, because we still need that dot opened class name. But the way that Divi does this also, and Divi Mobile, it uses a different class name for this, which is dot show menu. So all we need to do is go ahead and type in dot show dash menu. And you'll also see that by inspecting the page as I just did, when that icon is open, of course. So we'll just go ahead and wrap that up. Okay, so that's all the CSS classes and things that we need to do, but you can kind of see that this icon's still kind of messed up here. We can fix that quite easily. The way that Divi Mobile colors in the icons is with fill, and the way that these guys do it is with stroke. So we're just going to say important here. And now you can kind of see the icon is whole. And let's just change this to be white. And now we've got a nice white icon there. And now it is even working. You see how beautiful that looks? That's awesome. But let's look at how we tweak this, because of course this is a little off center now. We want to make sure that it's nice here in the middle of this circle and that it looks fantastic, and maybe scale it a bit. So let's look at the final Divi Mobile specific tweaks to utilize those tools built into Divi Mobile to go ahead and change things around just a tiny little bit to make it look perfect. So let's go. And maybe actually before we go, let me just quickly explain one or two more things. Now, I'm going to have the code that I'm using here included in the text version of the article. And I have got a lot of comments and stuff in there, but I really wanted to show you how I take the code from here and then go ahead and add it on the Divi site. And just a little bit of information here. You just want to make sure here with the stroke white, you can go ahead and really start calling this any color or add any color there. That is the color of your hamburger icon. So take note of that. Now there's some other small things you can do here. You can go ahead and take that white out, and then let's say you want to give line 2 a different color. You can go and type in red, and you can see that my middle line here has turned red. Super easy. But just so you know that these are the things that you'll kind of play with to go ahead and customize the look of even that SVG icon that you found online. So let's go ahead and take a look here at how we can move that icon around a little bit to have it just look a little bit better. So we go back to the Divi mobile settings. Then we go to burger menu. Now, guys, you see a lot of settings here. And if you're not familiar with Divi mobile, this might be a little overwhelming, but you can inject layouts into your mobile menus. You can do sub-menu styles. We've even got a bunch of presets here that you can choose from. Divi Mobile is pretty versatile, and it's not just a desk or a mobile phone plugin or mobile device plugin. It is perfectly good for desktops. We've got some great layouts that utilize this, and you can, as I'm using it right now, have a hamburger menu on desktop, and that's a pretty popular way to do things. So just FYI. But anyway, so here we go back to the burger menu, and here we've got that SVG code that we had added earlier, but now we can go ahead and change that background of the whole container here, and we can even move it all over the place here, but we're going to keep it nice on the side here, put it at 15, and then you can adjust the top and you can adjust the opacity and all sorts of stuff. But we're interested in the icon right now, so we can kind of play with this. Okay, that's a little bit more in the middle, and from the top, that is looking a little bit better, not perfect yet. Something like that works for me. And that looks pretty decent. So now, when we click it, it's right there in the middle. It looks pretty good. It's working for me. Let's look at maybe just increasing the size of it. I'm going to publish this really quickly. And then let me refresh the page for posterity. Sometimes things look a little bit different in the customizer than it does in actual Divis. We can adjust the size of this icon very simply by adding one easy line of CSS. And I'm going to type in here transform colon, and then I'm going to type in scale because we're going to scale it bigger, 1.3 maybe, put a semicolon, and there you can see that it got nice and big in here. Yeah, and you can do anything with the scale. You can make it much bigger. You can make it much smaller. That's 12. That's way too big. That's a typo. It's 1.2, 1.3, I think is the best one. And to reposition that, of course, we're going to go back here to Divi Mobile. We're going to go to Burger Menu. We're going to look at the icon again specifically. And then maybe we want to move. Oh, that's the dot. That's the wrong one. Yeah, we go from the left. Okay, that's better. And then from the top. There we go. I am happy with that. I'm going to publish it. And let's test it out. And there you have it, guys. So easy to do. So guys, that was so easy, and I'm happy that you guys stuck through it. This is a brand new feature in Divi Mobile, as I said, and I hope that this is kind of teaching you how to utilize some resources that are out there on the internet. They say great artists steal, so go steal that hamburger menu code and add it to your Divi sites running Divi Mobile. It's so easy to do. It's actually also relatively easy to do this by other means if you are an experienced coder. But for those of you that are still learning, this is how you're going to want to do it utilizing Divi Mobile. Now, if you guys want to know more about Divi Mobile, check the link in the description of this video. It is also our summer sale right now. We have huge discounts available to you. So make sure you get in there before those summer sale deals are gone. So guys, definitely like and subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. Make sure you don't miss anything. It helps us out a lot and it motivates us to keep bringing this type of stuff to you. So guys, with that, this is me, Roby, with the Divi Engine team. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you today. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.